Aemond Targaryen, also known as Aemond One-Eye and later as Aemond the Kinslayer, is a central figure in George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, the historical account of House Targaryen. His story is deeply intertwined with the Targaryen civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. Aemond was born in 110 AC to King Viserys I Targaryen and his second wife, Queen Alicent Hightower. He had an older brother, Aegon, and two older sisters, Helaena and Rhaenyra, from Viserys' first marriage, as well as a younger brother, Daemon. The court was deeply divided between supporters of Queen Alicent's children, the Greens, and those loyal to Rhaenyra, the Blacks, Viserys' daughter from his first marriage and his named heir to the Iron Throne. Aemond's early years were shaped by these tensions. He grew up in a fiercely competitive environment, especially with Rhaenyra's sons, Jacaerys, Lucerys, and Joffrey Velaryon, who were widely rumored to be bastards, a source of bitterness for Alicent's children. Aemond was a bold, hot-tempered, and unforgiving child, traits that would define him as he grew older. A pivotal moment in Aemond's life occurred at the age of 10. At this point, he was the only member of his family without a dragon. This was a source of deep frustration for him, especially since dragon riding was a prestigious Targaryen tradition. In 120 AC, following the death of Laena Velaryon, who had ridden Vhagar, the largest and most fearsome living dragon, Aemond claimed Vhagar during a visit to Driftmark for Laenor Velaryon's funeral. He did this in secret, knowing his parents would not approve, but determined to prove his worth. While the claim was successful, the act enraged Rhaenyra's sons, especially Lucerys, since they viewed Vhagar as part of their family's legacy. This led to a brutal fight between Aemond and his nephews. During the fight, Lucerys slashed Aemond's face with a knife, permanently blinding him in his right eye. Aemond later replaced his lost eye with a sapphire and became known as Aemond One-Eye. Despite the injury, Aemond famously stated that losing an eye was a fair trade for gaining Vhagar, showing his fierce and determined nature. In 129 AC, Aemond's father, King Viserys I, died, sparking a succession crisis. Although Viserys had named Rhaenyra his heir, Queen Alicent and her supporters, including Aemond, crowned Aegon II as king, setting the stage for the civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. Aemond was a fierce supporter of his brother's claim to the throne and quickly became one of the most prominent figures in the conflict. He was considered a far more capable and dangerous warrior than his older brother Aegon, whose nature was more reckless and indulgent. Aemond's martial skills, combined with his bond with Vhagar, made him one of the most formidable figures on the Green side. One of the most notorious events of the war occurred when Aemond traveled to Storm's End to secure the loyalty of House Baratheon. However, Prince Lucerys Velaryon, his nephew, had already arrived on behalf of Rhaenyra. Aemond, still holding a grudge from the eye-slashing incident years earlier, attempted to provoke Lucerys into a fight, demanding an eye in return. Lord Boros Baratheon refused to let them fight in his hall, but Aemond took to the skies on Vhagar and chased Lucerys, who rode the smaller dragon Arax. What followed was a tragic and violent encounter. Accounts differ on whether Aemond intended to kill Lucerys or simply frighten him, but the outcome was the same. Vhagar, a much larger and more experienced dragon, killed both Lucerys and Arax in the skies above Shipbreaker Bay. Aemond's actions earned him the title of Kinslayer, a terrible stigma in Westeros. Though Aemond's mother, Queen Alicent, and his grandfather, Otto Hightower, were horrified by the murder, his brother, King Aegon II, celebrated it. After the death of Prince Lucerys, Aemond became even more prominent in the war effort. When his brother, King Aegon II, was gravely wounded in the Battle of Rook's Rest, Aemond assumed the role of Prince Regent and Protector of the Realm, effectively ruling in his brother's place. Aemond, now the leader of the Green's armies, donned the crown of Aegon the Conqueror and took on an active role in the war. He gathered forces and, along with Sir Criston Cole, led campaigns to crush Rhaenyra's supporters. Aemond's military strategy involved burning Black-aligned settlements throughout the Riverlands with Vhagar, which earned him a fearsome reputation. During the war, Aemond captured Harrenhal, a key strategic location, and became involved with Alys Rivers, a woman said to possess mystical powers. She was referred to as a witch by some and even claimed to have visions. Aemond's relationship with Alys became significant as she may have borne him a child, though this is unconfirmed. Alys also allegedly influenced Aemond's decisions during the war, and she ruled Harrenhal after his death. Aemond's final confrontation came when Prince Daemon Targaryen challenged him to a dragon duel over the God's Eye Lake. This confrontation is one of the most famous events in Targaryen history, known as the Battle Above the God's Eye. On the day of their duel, Aemond, riding Vhagar, met Daemon on his dragon, Caraxes, in a fierce and bloody sky battle. The fight was a spectacle, with dragonfire and destruction witnessed from miles away. During the battle, Daemon leapt from Caraxes and drove his sword, Dark Sister, through Aemond's remaining eye, killing him. Both dragons crashed into the lake below. Aemond's body, still chained to Vhagar, was recovered years later with Dark Sister still lodged in his eye socket. Aemond's death marked a critical turning point in the Dance of the Dragons. Although he was a feared and powerful warrior, his actions, particularly the killing of Lucerys Velaryon, contributed to the escalating violence and chaos of the war. His legacy is complex. To some, he was a brave and capable warrior, while to others, he was a reckless Kinslayer whose actions brought ruin to his house. Aemond's lover, Alys Rivers, later claimed to be his widow and presented a child, asserting the boy was Aemond's son and the rightful king. However, these claims were never verified.